Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well by God's grace. I'm very delighted to come your way today. So what it is I'm about to do a voiceover on one of my videos, and I want to just give you a background story of the video, okay? So what it is just my video. It's a video, as you may have seen the thumbnail. It's stew. It's just tomato stew, right? No, rice stew. Okay, so I make a lot of these stews. I do that all the time, make it all the time, and I have a way of making it, okay? And in my other videos, my jollof recipes, you see that I have made those kind of stews, but this particular one, I wanted to go for the authentic rice stew. You know, I'm not talking about going to the wache seller, and the wache seller also sells rice, and you buy rice instead of wache, and she gives you, no, you know, there are rice sellers, you know, when you go to, like, you know, the Zongo and, you know, these populated areas now, you find out that there are rice sellers who sell just rice and stew, you know, proper rice. And when you eat it, the Amelia people sell it, you know, the Memunes and the Asanes and all those people, they sell it. So that was the kind of stew I wanted to go for. So that is how I picked my ingredients, okay? So I made this stew. I was just making it for the house because I just was feeling it. I made the stew. It was so delicious, very nice. It really went well. So what I was expecting is, if someone does something nice to you, you say, oh, thank you, or oh, we really enjoyed it, or something. Not my husband. My husband said, Samira, you know, the stew was really good, but the problem I have with you is that the problem he has with me, oh, I'm the one who cooks in the house, so he doesn't cook. I cook everything that he eats in the house, and I cook it all the time, repeat it, he eats it, he says it's nice. But then he tells me that the problem he has with me is that I cannot repeat my sauces. The way the thing shade me, the thing pay me, he said, and I told him that I'll prove him wrong. So that is the purpose of this video, right? The purpose of this recipe. I decided that I will prove you wrong. So that is why it is called Prove a Point Stew. You know, rice stew. I told him that I'll prove him wrong. And so I decided to make the stew again. So this time I decided to film it, you know, so that at least I have it, just to film it, and, you know, so that I can put it on my YouTube channel, because the stew is really beautiful. You can have it with wachi, actually, you know, like rice is the ultimate, spaghetti, kenke. You can even make gari and eat it. It's just very versatile. And your jollof there, don't even go there. So I made the stew again. You know, before I talk about making the stew again, I just want to say that we women, wives, ladies, mothers, I mean, like, we cook, you know, we do well. It's a lot of work. All kinds of food we cook back. Whatever you want, we cook it for you, okay? And it is hard. The prep crowd is the one that is killing me. The prep, when you have to prep the food before you cook it. Then we do it after we do it, instead of you to appreciate us, because we just take care of the home, we take care of the men, we take care of the children, we take care of ourselves, we take care of work. Some of us, we are students, we take care of books as well. So after all that, we come and tell us that we cannot repeat our success. They say, you know, next time we are but I did a stew again. I made it again, and this time he ate it. The first day when he ate it, he says, it's nice, but it's not like the one I ate. That taste, that Zongo authentic taste, you know, I can't taste it. I said, sir, but you know, let's give it another day and see. Because the other day I didn't eat it the same day. I ate it the following day. So we waited the following day, you know. Then he ate it. He said, Samira, congratulations. You've repeated your success. I proved a point that I can repeat my success. The fact that I didn't do it the same way that I do it, that does not mean that I cannot repeat my success. Because a human, I have shortcuts. I take shortcuts sometimes. So So I just wanted to share this video with you, share this recipe with you. It's a beautiful recipe. That the stew is amazing. It's like you won't believe it, you know, that you enjoy this. And yeah, let's just get into the recipe right now because I'm talking too much. If you leave me, I'll talk to tomorrow. You know. So yeah, let's get into the recipe. And thank you all my subscribers, the new ones, welcome. The returning ones, welcome again. And if you're not subscribed, just subscribe before you go, because I promise you that you'll not regret it. You enjoy it. You see. All right, so bye. 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 Hello, lovely people. So as I was saying before, you know, so we're going to make this stew, and this stew, I like to bang on about certain things, okay? Not because I made it, but like after I've made it, because this food that I make, normally I don't eat most of it. I just eat a little, maybe the day or another day. They all eat it themselves, and trust me, it went really well. So let's go and I'll show you. So here are the ingredients I'm going to use to steam my meat, okay? So I'm going to be using beef, and beef with the bone in it, so bone-in beef, okay? So I'm going to be using some chopped onions, some ginger, garlic, Scotch bonnet, and then aniseed. I'll blend these and then I'll use it to steam my meat, okay? So this is the blended, right? And the next batch of the other ingredients, okay? So I'm going to be using ginger, I'll use garlic, I'll use Scotch bonnet, I'll use some chopped onions, and this diced onion as well. So those on the plate, on the white plate, I'm going to blend them all with number of spices, okay? So those are the spices I'm going to be using for my food. I'm not going to be adding any Maggi cube, nothing. Not to say that Maggi cube is not good, but I don't use Maggi cube to cook anymore. I stopped that longest time. Okay, these are natural spices, and trust me, they are so good. All right, so I have Calabash, nutmeg, Aniseed. I have I've listed it up there so you see what I'm adding. All right, some cardamom here. Okay, and the key spice, right, to this stew, the taste of the stew, don't forget, cardamom is optional, right? If you get it, it's another level, right? But then your star anise, your aniseed, and your calabash nutmeg, your African nutmeg, that one you shouldn't omit it, because that will give you that nima. So this stew, it tastes like, you know, you go to buy rice, you know, the rice spot, not the wachi. I'm not talking about wachi spots that they sell rice and they use the wachi stew to serve the rice. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just rice and stew spots. Nima, Zongo, Hausa people rice and stew spot. That is the kind of stew we're talking about. So I blend that and I will use that later, okay? So here, this is the tomatoes. I'm going to use some fresh tomatoes and some tin tomatoes as well. Some canned tomatoes. Yeah, I love to use it. They are very convenient. I don't feel guilty about it at all. Not the slightest. Trust me. I enjoy using it. Okay, so I've blended it all together, and this is it. So here, my meat is ready. I've washed it, cleaned it nicely. You can see the bone, and you need the one with the bone, because the bone and the fat around it, they give you that flavor. You taste like you are in Ghana eating this stew from the quine chain. Okay, so I add my blended spices that I showed you earlier, and I'm going to use it to steam this meat and for it to cook a little bit. Then I will fry it. Okay, so here I'm adding my salt to taste. You need to add some salt to taste very well. It doesn't matter if the salt is too much on the meat, because eventually you add it to the stew and then it will all neutralize. So it wouldn't be too salty. But then when you eat the meat and it hasn't got enough salt, then it becomes some waste. You know what I mean? So don't worry when you get too much salt in your meat. That's not to say I had too much salt here. It's just by the way to let you know that you can do that. Okay, so my meat is boiled, is cooked, is steamed nicely, and it's ready to be fried. Okay, so what I do is I'll just set it aside and start frying. Seriously, and I'm using this granite thingy for saucepan. It is really good. I use this for frying because it's splatter proof, not completely, but like 95% splatter free when you use this material saucepan. It's called granite, like I forgot it, granite something. I'll write it somewhere for you to see. Okay, but it's granite saucepan or something. So I use it to fry my things because it doesn't splatter. Otherwise, if you don't have it, just add a pinch of bicarbonate of soda in your oil and the splatter will reduce for you. Okay, so my meat is nicely fried. It's browned nicely as I want it. Yeah, you can fry it further for you to get very, very dark, but I think this is enough for me. I'll still see it in my stew. So yes, yeah, I scoop it and set it aside, and I'll show you how the meat will look like. So even though I've fried it and it is nicely browned, when you open it up, you see that the middle is still nice and soft, and when you chew it, you still get, see, I pressed it and it was soft, right? So as I open it, you see like the middle bit, you see how it looks like. It's not very hard inside. It's just the exterior that is brown and looks hard. So the same oil I used to fry my beef, I pour it in my saucepan, and as you see, you saw me there, I didn't pour all of it because you have to reduce it, otherwise it will be too oily. Anyway, so I add in my diced onions, and then I'm going to be frying it, right? I'll add some bay leaves. I always add bay leaves to my stew, but I didn't show it earlier, I think. But then I add some bay leaves. I never know when to add it, so I add it early, so that just in case, it doesn't matter. You can add it anytime you want, trust me. Right, so yeah, I fry it for like 2 to 3 minutes, and I add my onions and my spices, right? So that is it. My spices are already in. I'm done. You're not going to add anything else. The only thing I'll add later is my nutmeg. I showed it earlier, but I didn't mention it, but it will be in the list. Nutmeg, I've always said, if you follow me here, you know that I add nutmeg to certain kinds of meals I make. So this is one of those kind of things I add nutmeg. Okay, so I'm going to fry this down for like 5 minutes until all the juices have evaporated. Then I add my tomatoes. Okay, my tomato goes in and I stir it, and all that I'm going to wait is for this stew to cook. So what I'm going to be doing is, what I normally do is I add some water. So I'm going to wash that bowl with the tomatoes, wash it, you see, and add wash, and then add the water to it. And I may add some more water, maybe off camera. I don't know. That is my normal practice. I'm telling you my normal practice because this video I've done a long time. I'm now, just doing the voiceover, so I can't remember where I am now, right? But it's okay. It's okay. So once it start to boil, right? You cover it because it will splatter a lot. It is like this. It splatters like crazy everywhere. Your stove, your walls, everywhere. Your just anywhere, anything will splatter. So you have to cover it. It's like the way it splatters. When the CSI people come, I tell you, they can follow all the clues and find the murderer. So you always need to have your lid to cover it, or a splatter guard to cover it. So I said I add a lot of water. It is my normal practice. So you see that I just added a whole lot of water. It doesn't matter how much water you add it in, right? It will all reduce. You let it cook for it to reduce, right? So the idea is for you to cook the stew so that tomato taste disappears, right? So to bring it down, for my people, you buy chim. So you keep cooking and over chim until the fresh tomato taste disappears, right? That is what we are trying to do. And it makes this stew can sit on your stove, even in warm water, for like a week, and it will not go bad. Because what chim, you've cooked and cooked out all the moisture that can cause that decay. Is it decay? The proye, or the bone, or the seye. You've just executed all those living organism that will cause your stew to spoil. So it can sit on your counter for long, but not to say to let it sit there for long. But it has happened before. I've left it there, but it was quite cold weather. But still, on a warm day, you can let it there. So if you do not have like a fridge to store it, and you make a batch of this, trust me, it's going to stay for long, for in warm weather. So this is where I add my stock from the beef that we cooked earlier. Okay, so I add it, and it's still, you see, it looks watery. So all that is going to happen is I'll cover it and I'll let it simmer, or I'll let it boil over. Just say yeah. Then that is it. That is it. So the key things to this stew is or are the spices. Those 3 spices I mentioned: the star anise, the calabash nutmeg, not nutmeg. What is that? Calabash nutmeg, and what else? The star anise, calabash nutmeg, and the inkitten, the aniseed should be part of it. But if you have the cardamon takes it to another level, right? Okay. If you have the cardamon, the green cardamon, not the black, the green cardamon, you add it and you're going to be like, oh my God, yeah, I've arrived. Okay. And if you have fresh basil, you can use it instead of the dry one I used. So here, as you can see, I'm sprinkling in my nutmeg to this gives me a homely feeling. It reminds me of when I was young. My mom used to cook, so that's why I always add it. But it also adds to the taste, right? It adds to the flavor. So you can try it and you love it, right? So yeah, as you can see, the stew is looking good, and I'm adding some salt to it, okay? Because I tasted it and it didn't taste so. So I had to internalize it, to make it taste good. Salt to your taste. Please do that. And I taste it again. And if I'm not happy, I'll add some more. If I'm happy, then we move on with our lives, okay? So this stew is on fire for like about 2 hours. I was cooking it, right? And this, as I said, it allows all the moisture to get out, right? So this is the time that I add my meat. So as you can see, my beef goes in. We give it a good stir, and yeah, we go. Today I didn't eat some of the meat. Trust, you see, sometimes that can be good, but you never know what I did off camera because you don't know the quantity of the meat. My real main so you cover it for it to simmer again, and then that is it. Your stew is ready, right? This stew is very simple, but the key things are those spices I've told you. So if you get those, you are done. So here we go. I served it with rice and some talia. Ghana we call it talia, but spaghetti, right? And it's so good. And this stew is perfect for jollof. You can take out all the meat and use the stew for jollof, and you grill some chicken, or you pan fry some steak, or whatever, and you are good to go. So eat it with rice. You can eat it with that kinky that I made last week. Okay, if you get this stew and that kinky, I tell you, you get some corner family baby. What baby your name would you see with her? What's now why? When you be in so you get your pure water. This one, if you don't even have pure water, get a freezer bag and make your own pure water in a brochure and sit down and just 1 hour. Right. So this stew is so good. I hope you try it, and I hope you like this recipe. Please do try it. Please remember to give me a thumbs up. Please remember to subscribe if you like what you see. Okay, and come back and you get something beautiful again. So I will see you when I see you next time. Bye.